And we're live. Thank you, folks, for joining us for another DSR Learns to Play a particular game. Tonight we're learning how to play the hero system, and we're joined by Don and I are joined by excellent GM. That's the system, not necessarily dungeons, right? So, but Shane Harsch of Legendsmith, who you might remember was just on the show a little while ago. We talked about 5th edition. And then joining us as a player, now he's not, he's not new to the game, so he's thankfully a little more seasoned than us, and he'll be there to, help hold our hands through the tough parts. Is Jason Hobbs, who we've not heard on the show since our first episode. So, Jason, welcome. It's good to see you, man.
Thanks, Adam. Well, I'm glad to be back.
And Shane, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing tonight?
Sure. So what we're going to be doing is pretty classic. I'm quite fond of the Village of Hamlet. Truth be told, I'm less fond of Temple of Elemental Evil, but I love the Village of Hamlet, and I particularly love the Moat House in the Village of Hamlet. It's, I think, a pretty iconic experience from an old-school perspective. I like the way it's structured. It fits well, it fits well for a convention-type, spontaneous one-shot event. It's very specifically focused. There's not a lot of meandering. And really our objective here tonight is to explore the hero system, what you can do in it. Any game you can role play, right? So I didn't want to have a bunch of dirty hippie narrative type engagements, because those you can do in any system. Adam, I had the awesome luck to play in your DCC game, and that was full of just crazy awesome role playing that had nothing to do with the system, had everything to do with you and the background and the players at the table. So really want to focus on, I want to do role-playing tonight, but I do want to focus on exploring some of the mechanics of the system, how it works, demonstrate that to the viewers, and and help you explore that as players.
Awesome. Sounds great. Excellent. So why don't we go ahead and tell the folks at home who we're playing. Jason, what are you playing?
I'm playing an infernal rogue sorcerer named Abraxas. I don't really know too much about him because I didn't look too hard at the character sheet yet. So that's about all I got.
I'm looking at his character sheet right now, and what I can tell you is that he is infernally touched, hunted by agents of divine forces, and he must fulfill an infernal purpose or quest, and he's got infernally touched on here again. Okay.
I'm printing it off right now.
Excellent. Well, then you'll see everything I saw. Don, who are you playing?
I'm playing Belloc, the human archer. I'm seeing Belloc as kind of he's a great shot, but he's also really cocky about that, and he's got this rivalry with another great archer, probably named Robin.
He's got a rivalry with every archer.
With every archer. Well, that's totally me then.
If he sees another archer, he's got to one-up him. That's.
It's Adam.
I don't know what you're talking about.
A joke. It's jovial. It's Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. I'm full of tacos and love.
I'm happy for you. I wish I was full of tacos.
Tell us about your character, Adam.
I'm so glad you asked, Don. I'm playing Korgon the Barbarian, and I'm kind of thinking of this guy. Shane kind of spilled the beans before this, and he said that basically he took his 300-point Conan build and shaved 100 points off. But I was thinking more Korgoth than Korgon. Korgoth of Barbaria is what I'm going for, because I mean, look at this guy's complications; they're kind of perfect. Barbarian. It's time for women in grog. Wizards and priests are untrustworthy, which is just totally the truth anyway. Savage warrior, and there's always someone who wants to kill me. I think many of those things are true about me. At least the last one.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them.
So it's not a big stretch for me. So it's good.
So I think this is, and unless you've got other introductory things to go through, Adam, I think you touched on one element of the hero system that I'd like to talk about.
Go for it.
Okay, so one of the things that you touched on were the complications, and you notice that on the character sheets, and any of the viewers that are out there, if you follow the instructions in the posting that I put out there, you can go find all of the characters that were available for tonight. But the complications are front and center, and that's for a number of reasons, because the main one of which is that it defines how your character should act and behave, interact with the world around you, and especially if you opt for some kind of meta currency within the game. And since you guys just got off Fate, right? If you're going to play hero with Fate points, which a lot of people do, I know I do. We always name it genre appropriate, whether it's grit or hero points or whatever. But your complications are your primary way of earning those, that currency.
Okay.
So that's why the complications are important. Now, from a character design perspective, whatever power level the character is built at has a certain level of required complications. For these characters, they had to have 50 points of complications. So every one of the character builds has 50 points. If you're a plebe, like 50-point farmer, then you might have one complication for 10 or 15 points. If you are a 1,000-point character, demigod level, you might have 100 complication points.
So are complications like based on scale then, and just the number that you have to buy into based on that? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a pay-to-play. They don't give you points. It's just kind of for a campaign at this level, you should have X amount of baggage.
Okay, cool. All right. Awesome. So, and then for the game system, Don, are you in the Roll20 yet?
No, I'm not.
Okay, if you just go ahead and click that link that Shane sent you a minute ago, we'll look at this fabulous downtown street here that is where we're landing in that. But
oh yeah, that would be inappropriate.
Yeah.
Let me move you over to the more appropriate one.
I knew you'd sort it out eventually, but I figured I should make fun of you while I had the chance. Shane, I'm going to be trusting you to let me know what's going on, because a lot of this stuff, I'm kind of in the dark on as far as like what the numbers mean. I did sort out a bit of what some of the stuff means, but there's clearly we'll just need a little bit of simplification or clarification as time goes.
Sure. Yeah, and I'll really give you the condensed view or the condensed approach to hero. Its core mechanic is 3d6 roll low.
Yeah.
When you're looking at your character sheet, anytime you see a number with a dash after it, which typically you're going to see a lot of 11s and 12s and 13s, and they're going to have dashes after them.
Yeah.
That's your target number or less on 3 dice. All things being equal, if you try something, roll your dice. If you get that number or less, you succeed.
Okay. Cool.
So if we apply modifiers, positive or negative, something's harder, I'm going to say, that's a -2, right? Then that's going to lower your skill, so you'd go from 11 to a 9, and now you need a 9 or less to succeed.
Okay, so when you say a -2, that's applying to the
target
skill range rather.
Right.
Yeah, the target number rather than our die roll. Got it.
Correct. Correct. So it works because I think mentally we know -2 is bad, +2 is good. So you're not trying to invert your mental model. You just apply it to your skill level. I have a tracking of 11 less. I'm -2. I need a 9 or less. The flip side of that is, as a game master technique, what's really nice about the hero system is the way the penalties and modifiers work. Plus or -3 is basically a standard deviation. So if something is a -3, it's an order of magnitude harder, right? And if something is +3, it's a lot easier. So as a game master, you can say, give me a tracking roll and just tell me your margin of success. And based on your margin of success, you as the game master can either judge whether or not that's sufficient, Or you can also know in your head, oh, this is a -3 task. They made it by 3, so they succeed. I just don't want to tell them the penalty. Right?
Okay.
So you'll see in play that a lot of times I'll just ask you for a roll. I won't tell you the penalty associated with it.
Okay.
Cool.
That makes sense. Sure.
A little bit more character sheet exploration, so that we've really talked about complications and we've talked about skills. And I think if I can, let's see, I am going to there we go. I'm going to screen share. I'm going to screen share Gorgon the Barbarian. So we'll focus on Gorgon here for a second. This way we can all kind of talk about the same thing. So we've talked about complications. We've talked about skills. You might have skill levels, and skill levels are flexible. They can be applied to an appropriate skill, but they can also, in the case of combat skill levels, they can be applied to your defense. So we looking here at Gorgon and his Master of Hand-to-Hand. He's got +2 with hand-to-hand combat. When he goes to make an attack, he can choose to increase his chance of hitting, or he can increase his defensive value.
Got it. Okay.
Or he can split it, right? He can go, I'm going to go 1 and 1. And then Hero System also has an advanced rule that every 2 skill levels can be used to raise damage. So if he doesn't want to do anything with his to hit or his armor class, right, he can just up the amount of damage he does and do more. Talents are generally binary: bump of direction, light sleep, right? There's no roll involved. They're like simple powers, and so they just describe enhanced aspects of your characters. Now, when we get into powers, this is where you might see a lot of gobbledygook, and this is typically where people who are getting into Hero might get a little turned off.
I can say when I was looking at Abraxas, I was actually I was really glad that Hobbs was interested in Abraxas, because I know how useful wizards tend to be, and I was looking there and I thought, well, if I do this, it'll be a challenge, because there's a lot of stuff there, you know. That's fun, learning how to use all these moving parts.
Right.
So that's actually one of the reasons I was kind of excited to get Gorgon, because I wanted it straightforward.
Well, Gorgon even has some nice twists. Now, I pulled up Abraxas because you had mentioned him. Is on my screen, is everyone seeing Abraxas?
No, you're not shared right now.
All right, so let me fix that for a moment, because I do want to talk about. There we go. I'll just share my entire screen, and that should take care of it. Okay, so now can you see Abraxas?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So, and this is good because I want to talk about powers. I don't want to spend 2 hours talking about how the system works. Right? We're going to play.
Right.
But I do want to give you an orientation.
Yeah.
The thing about powers that anyone coming into Hero needs to know is it's simply a shorthand, and it puts all of the mechanics associated with that power onto your character sheet. So, unlike other games where you might go, oh, I've got Infernal Aura and it does 66 damage, and there's some extra rules around that, I've got to go look it up, right? And you open up the spell book and you find the spell, and it goes, oh, it's a concentration spell, it's got a range of this, blah, 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 right? All of that's typically annotated somewhere else. In Hero, on a Hero character sheet, all the stuff is on your character sheet. So you don't need to do that lookup. Doubly so if you understand the shorthand. So that's why it seems like there's so much jargony stuff there. But once you kind of get over the hump and learn what some of those abbreviations mean, it actually is pretty straightforward. A power build in Hero is all about reasoning from effect. So instead of going somewhere and learning how fire powers work, you concentrate on what is the effect that I'm trying to achieve, and you build the mechanics of that, and then you give it the special effect of fire. So when we look at Infernal Blade as an example, and this is about the middle of the sheet, and I just highlighted it. HKA stands for hand killing attack. So it's a hand killing attack that does a D6 plus 1, 1.5 D6 if you use your strength. This magic system has a skill bonus mechanic that if you use your magic skill, you might get more damage. DC is a damage class. ACV, I realize we got a lot of acronym soup going on here, just means it uses your offensive mental combat value instead of your regular offensive combat value. It's a mental effect rather than a physical effect. But it still goes against the target's physical DCV. +1 stun X, it's more painful. It's also armor piercing, that's what AP stands for. Requires incantation, so you've got to be vocal about it. And it costs you 6 endurance. Now, the reason that this power shows its active points, 30 active points, is because it's in what we call a multi-power. And the multi-power indicated with individual slots FFFF. So there's 3 things. It's a selector switch. You can only do one of those things at a time. So you have 30 points of sorceress power, and you can either do Infernal Blade, Sorceress Hand, or Sorceress Dart. But you can't do them all at the same time. Whereas you can have your Infernal Aura up, your Infernal form always applies. Your Mists of the Abyss, you can manifest that, right? All of those things you can be going, but when you use your sorceress power, you can only choose one of these 3 things. The other character that has a similar thing is Korgon, is your barbarian.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's got, what, 7 powers under the same,
right.
multi-power? That's interesting.
Right. So he can only do one of those at a time. He can only do a mob attack, or brace against the attack, or do a drop kick, or be a savage fighter, or do a savage throw, or a savage grapple, or a measured strike.
Sure.
So that's it's when we talk about building a character, it is a point-saving mechanic, but it's also a conceptual thing. You can think about it like Green Lantern's ring, right? He's got a ring. He's got a bunch of stuff that he can do with it, but he can only do one thing at a time with the ring. He can't, punch someone over here and lift up a building over here, right? So that's kind of a classic multi-power example, and that's where it comes from. So we won't get too lost in the mechanics. Hopefully the names are descriptive enough. Your characteristics, these should be very familiar. Ego is analogous to wisdom. Presence is analogous to charisma. But you'll also notice off to the right this presence attack notation. You can attack people with your personality, and I highly recommend it, especially if you can augment it either with certain skills like conversation, or just by being a badass, mighty strength, leveraging your negative reputation as a savage warrior, maybe picking up a guy and throwing him into the fire. Those are all types of things that can help you intimidate. So there is no intimidate skill. It's built on your presence attack, and you can do it as part of any action.
Oh, okay.
So you can attack someone, and especially like if you cut off their head, you can snarl at somebody else, leveraging the fact that you just devastated this opponent, get a couple bonus dice, and actually attack them with your personality. So always good time. A little more alphabet soup here, but it's really straightforward. Physical defense, energy defense. It's all damage stopping, so that's how much damage you don't take. Recovery, that's how much of this stun and endurance you get back. Either when you spend an action to recover or at a certain interval. And then body, when you're out of body points, you dead.
Okay.
So body is essentially your core hit points. When you're out of stun, you're unconscious. When you're out of endurance, you're fatigued. Perception is your default perception roll. Movement, basic amounts of movement. I usually play this a little more theater of the mind. I'm not as concerned about explicit movement limits. Mm-hmm. You can play hero that way, but it also works really well in theater of the mind. So this is the platform that you start from, essentially. And then the combat stuff, we'll just wait for combat to get into. Speed is just how many actions you get, and I think that's about it. Any armor and resistances you would have will be down here, and your total defenses, how much damage stopping you get, is right there. The reason... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I have a number before and a number after a slash.
Yeah, so in Korgon's case, the reason that it's split is because of his brace against the attack power.
Oh, okay. Cool. Got
So
it.
that's just to remind you, hey, you can get there, so that you would ask me that question, how do I get the bigger number? And I
Right.
say, well, you've got a brace against the attack, which, if you read into the specifics of the build, you basically have to give up your action. You can't attack.
Right.
You just hunker down and you take it like a barbarian. So that's a whirlwind tour of the character sheet in a nutshell. When we get into a situation, the system really does accommodate anything you want to do. So don't get bent out of shape in trying to understand, is it on my character sheet, is it not on your character sheet? Your character sheet is going to show you what you're good at, but it's not going to reveal all of the things that you can do.
Okay, thanks for adding that. That was something that I was a little worried about. I tend to choose things to do that aren't exactly, explicitly listed. So I wanted to make sure that there wasn't like that sort of MMO style. If it's not there, you can't do it.
Oh no, absolutely not. That's what I really like about it is when you essentially step off the reservation of your character sheet, there are reasonable probabilities associated with doing the things that you think your character should be able to do, even if you don't have special training for them. And that's also a bit different than some other games, which often highly penalize you or just flat out don't allow actions that aren't on your character sheet or associated with your class or your particular character build. I had one of my favorite players is notorious for getting himself and doing things that he has no business doing, like using his 8 strength mage to grapple ogres and things like that. And doing the classic, he'll just wrap himself around the ogre's leg and keep pressing his luck and actually end up tripping the ogre anyway, which of course everyone dogpiles on at that time. And that's what's beautiful about it, is that the system just supports that type of creativity.
Right. Cool.
All right. So that is that. Last thing about combat is it's as explicit as you want to make it. So if you want to do a called shot to the eye while doing a called shot to the groin on a second target while leaping through the air, all of that can be done. And all of it has a risk associated with success or failure, but it also has reward associated with taking that risk. So it's not just for color.
Sure. Cool.
Cool.
All right.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I think it's an important element of any game that allows you to take risks is that they reward you for those risks.
Oh, Don was worried about the nut shots. He wanted to make sure that he could get in nut shots.
So you're not using hit locations, right? Because you don't have like equipment or anything on here. So
no,
Okay,
I am
equipment.
using hit locations. We're using abstract armor. If I'm going to stop sharing here and go back, if you actually, I guess I should keep sharing because not everyone can necessarily see the map. So I will share. If you go to your Roll20 and you go to your handouts, which is the little newspaper thing in the toolbar on the right, you'll see a hit locations and a speed chart. Speed chart, don't worry about, but you can pull up the hit locations and zoom in.
I got all of it. I was just wondering if you were using it. Oh, but I guess you're telling those guys.
Yep, telling those guys because they haven't seen it.
Jeez, Hobbs. Give us a minute, man.
That's right.
We're
I'm boarding
beginners.
it over you right now, Adam.
So Don, since apparently you have a fondness for nut shots, that is subsumed.
It really shouldn't surprise anybody. I mean,
that is subsumed in hit location 12 if you're looking at the hit location chart, which is stomach. There's no extra body damage, but it does do extra stun damage because it's very painful.
All right. I actually don't. This is a rumor. and I'm not going to say it's true or not.
I made it up. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I made it up. It's not
What
that.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
So if we're good with that, then I think we can get started. Unless you guys have any questions.
No, I'm ready to rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Abraxas, Hobbs, you're playing him. You know the hero system.
Yep.
The skills that or the spells. Let me switch to them really quick. The spells that say skill bonus will list what you get when you spend a full phase action and succeed at a sorcery roll.
Oh, okay. You have to do a full phase action?
You got to do a full phase action to get any of the bonus. And if you fail the sorcery roll, although your sorcery is 16 or less, if you fail, then the power actually fails to manifest.
Okay.
If you just use the power as it's written, then it just works. There's no spell casting roll. It's only essentially when you want to push your power. And then some of your other spells, like Infernal Blessing, they flat out require a sorcery roll and have consequences if you fail.
Okay.
So it's meant to minimize rolling, but still reward if you want to spend the extra time to increase your power.
Bellic groin shot. I just saw that. You got arrows sticking out of there.
All right, how do we? It should be good.
If you double click on the hit locations, if you have that open, if you double click on where it says hit locations, it'll minimize it so it doesn't have to take up the whole window. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
I just closed it.
Well, because then you have to open it every time. But if you actually make it, it'll make it very small and it won't take up any room, and you can move it wherever you want it to be.
Oh, yeah. No, it's in its own window. How cool is that? A little window.
But it's so tiny.
That's why you can hook the big one. Oh.
Now for those, I guess at this point I will have to stop sharing because otherwise you guys can see all the secret areas.
I saw that was happening, so I bounced over to my own Roll20 screen.
All right. So if you're on your own Roll20, then you should be good to go.
Because I don't cheat.
Because you don't cheat. That's right. So yeah, if you guys would just focus on your own Roll20 screen, and
Of course.
then the viewers can benefit from seeing what I'm seeing, and also.
Oh yeah, totally. That's a great idea. Yeah.
So then you guys can focus on the map, and we'll just take it from there. So we have Korgon, the Barbarian. So we don't have the Centaur. We got Korgon. We don't have the Sprite. And we do have the Archer, and we don't have the Gnome. Okay, so we'll take those. Send them there. And you guys are there. Okay.
I don't want to be in front.
We're totally going to be in front. It's your job to scout this place out.
I can scout it out, but I don't need to stand in front of that.
Now I know there's a trick in Roll20 to minimize the icons down here. Did anyone of you remember?
Yeah,
minimize them? You can resize them? Oh, yeah.
And go all the way. Is it down?
Yeah, at the bottom it says avatar or video/player avatar size, and just take that down to names only.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
So it's not.
There we go.
Annoying.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was getting really annoying. Okay, so you guys have been tasked to go and actually find this moat house. It is rumored that a group of bandits is using it to base their raids along the roads to Verbabonk and Nulb on the way to Hamlet, and causing all manner of disruption to mercantile trade. So somebody wants these bandits found. Using Korgon's uncanny tracking abilities, you have been able to follow their trail, and that has led you to this old moat house deep within a swamp. You have stealthily approached and taken cover behind a fallen tree, and before you, you see that the old gate itself has fallen over and actually forms a kind of a makeshift drawbridge over the swampy sludge below. There is a broken, crumbling tower. Oops, I zoomed out too far. There's a broken, crumbling tower that's right next to the main gate. And otherwise, you see that the moat house itself is falling apart in various sections around. But the most obvious entrance that you have seen is to quite literally go through the front door.
Would we have cover to like check out other areas, like if we wanted to see? Because I'm assuming we could see this broken down area over here to the southeast corner of.
Yep, and if you point with your mouse and hold the button down, it will like send a little ping.
Yeah,
circle.
he was showing.
I was showing you with an arrow. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, he was using the ruler.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's very, very, very small.
Here, I'll change my color.
So yeah, you can see all the crumbling area, and as stealthy as all of you are, we're going to assume that you've kind of skirted around the whole thing. And there doesn't appear to be any other easy egress. You can see, if you scroll around on the map, you can see over to the northeast part of that tower and building has crumbled in, and you might be able to scramble over and up and come in through the roof. Who only knows what's lying in wait for you. But beyond that, there's no other easy entrance, and might involve much bog slumping.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I see how many bandits there were moving through here?
Yeah, go ahead and make a tracking roll.
Okay, so I'm rolling 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
And, ooh, nice! First roll of the night is a 3.
So that's a critical success. Generally, anything under half of your target number or less is a critical success. Of course, you don't know what the penalty was, so your tracking is what, 11, 12? Yeah.
11,
so
yeah.
A 5 or less would be a critical success unless there was...
some kind of penalty,
Some kind of penalty. But a 3 is always a crit success. So you've skirted around this entire area, and you noticed a couple of things. First and foremost is there are some tracks over by the northeast ruins. And it definitely looks as if not all the time, but it looks as if they have used that path to get in and out of the keep. The other thing that you notice is the last set of tracks coming in through the main gate actually looks like they might have been dragging a couple bodies, and you see signs of blood. It looks like maybe they bit off a little bit more than they could chew, and they might be in a weakened state.
All right. So, and okay. All right. So, do I have an idea of their numbers?
Not more at this point. Not more than half a dozen within the past week or so.
Okay. That's good. Right. That's totally takeable numbers. And there seem to be anybody like on watch or anything like that?
Yeah, you don't see anybody on the wall. This area here, that section of wall actually looks like wall to an outer courtyard that you can see through the gates.
Mm-hmm.
And I will change my color so you can see me a bit better as well. But this area here is all roofed.
Right.
So there's actually, old rafters, and there's holes in the roof and stuff like that, but that's the covered part of the keep.
Okay, and one last question here on this front. Let me remember what it was. And right, because I think it'd be stupid to not look in the moat. This swampy moat that's around said moat house.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see any signs of anything down there?
Go ahead and make a perception roll. I don't think you have any particular nature lore or anything like that, so you're just looking for general weirdness.
Maybe you should let me do it, my muscled friend.
Go ahead, take a look.
Now I get a +1 with all sense groups. So how does that work into it?
So that would add to, that's going to add to any perception roll you make. Hearing, smell, taste, right? So your base perception is 13, you get +1 for a 14.
All right. Oh.
You found a swamp, and it's full of swamp things. There's lots of slimy things in there. You probably don't want to stick your hand in there, let alone go wading, but nothing tries to eat you while you're observing, so that's a plus.
I see nothing, Korgon.
Well, I think we should just go ahead and just stay together and form up and head right over that drawbridge.
I think we should go up to the roof in the northeast corner.
I did see that earlier, and that looked like a.
Well, we know that they have a way in and out up there because I discovered that. So if you guys want to pursue that route, I'm totally cool with that.
Now this looks climbable. This pile of rubble.
Is that the south?
The southeast. The southeast corner does look climbable, although you might have to navigate, jump over the moat. For scale-wise, your icons are 1 meter across.
Okay.
And also
I thought you said it was the northeast corner where
the northeast corner is where you found the tracks, and that looks actually a little bit easier of a way to get in.
I think that's the way we should go in rather than the southeast here.
Yeah.
Because we know that they have a way in up there. Because otherwise, I doubt they just walk around, in the ruin, the rubble part of it,
Right.
So.
I'm with you.
I'm curious what these little rocks are right here, anyway. And that's
they're
jumpable.
clearly mushrooms, and you should eat them all.
I love infernal mushrooms.
So then you guys are decided?
Yeah, I think we're going to head up that way.
Let's stealth up there, though.
They'll never see us coming.
What's that video of the barbarian that has the guns? You know what I'm talking about? Korgon or the Gunbarian or something? Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'll remember it pretty soon, but that's who you sound more like than anyone else.
I was going for Don, but no.
Well, you don't have enough chatting pace in your voice.
I don't. I know.
So you guys are in the undergrowth, and notice that Abraxas seems to be eyeing those mushrooms pretty anxiously. There is a bit of moat, but you can probably get over it, and then the rubble leading up and into, looks like it goes in right where the roof kind of reaches the top of the wall, so not quite to coming in from the roof proper, but going right up there at the primary supports.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so this plane walk has ×4 non-combat, so does that mean I could teleport up on top of the roof?
You absolutely could.
Let's do that.
But just you.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I know that. Well, I just want to see what's going on, and then I can watch in case anything comes while these guys are scrabbling around in all these rocks.
Okay. So you guys are going to hang back while he's going to teleport up? And
I'll have an arrow ready.
Okay.
To shoot him when he turns
Can I
on
take
us.
extra time to make it more likely to work, or no?
So your plane walk. No, you have no skill roll here.
Oh, okay.
So unless you're going to try and push it to add to your base movement. If you're just going to do you have 6 meters of teleport and ×4 non-combat. So if you're just going to do a non-combat teleport, you can go 24 meters, no skill roll, no nothing.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just go up to the top of the roof.
Okay.
That's like how he got here, so he didn't even worry about like walking. He's just like teleport.
Well, I mean, I do some incantations and say some and do some gestures. Dog seen a task, and
I just picture your guy as like a tall, beefy nightcrawler now.
He doesn't vamp, he kind of steps through nothing into something.
Right. Now, this does cost 6 endurance, of which you only have 35.
So that'll come back. Hopefully, as long as I don't get attacked, I'll be okay.
Right. And then you are correct. You have a 6 recovery, so you can actually recover that pretty quickly. But we do like to start off tracking.
Post 12, right?
Yeah.
Post 12 I got it.
All right. So with that, you plane walk up to the roof, and
you should fancy walk instead.
Moonwalk.
So here's a roll 20 question.
Yeah.
How do I get it to register how far you move? Do I have to use the space bar? Yeah, that's it. That's the stuff. You just hit the space bar. So yeah, you can 20 meters get you right to the center of the roof. I'll just do a little review.
I just kind of want to go to the corner here.
Does he have to go the full distance, or can he go partial?
Can I just kind of go right up here?
Go right up there onto the stone wall.
Yeah, because is that where the roof is or not? I can't really tell.
That's right next to the edge of the roof, but there are holes in the roof. So if you're stealthy, you should be able to kind of peer in there and see what's going on.
That's what I'd like to do. Yeah, I don't want to go. I probably couldn't see over to the middle of the roof anyway from where we are if it's any height, right? So, and it has to be somewhere I can see, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
no?
The roof is sloped, so you absolutely could go to the peak if you want.
No, I think I'd be happier just right up here somewhere. Just right onto the top of it.
Okay.
Just barely up there so they can still see me and everything, and I can get out of here fast if I need to.
That sounds good. All right, so you go up there, no extra special noise or anything like that. Give me a stealth roll, because you do appear, your feet touch the stone, and you're peering down trying to look in.
11. So I got a 13 or less.
Right, so your stealth is 13, so you made it by 2. Now, just a note about stealth roll, since we're talking about learning the system. Hero uses a standard range modifier for all attacks and all perception. In fact, I can bring that up pretty quickly here. So everyone can see.
I have like one from the reference sheets. I have the reference sheets if you want me to share it with these guys.
I do too. I just kind of wanted to show these.
Oh, people watching at home.
Yep.
All 2 of them.
All 2 of them. That's right.
I don't know how many there are.
2.
It's 2 of them, man. There's 2 more than we're watching when we weren't doing this.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's half as many as us. Think about it.
I love those 2 viewers.
Those 2 viewers are fantastic.
They're gorgeous.
When I joined this game here at Roll20, Shane, it said that Rob Miller played in a game with you here. Was he playing Champions with you, or?
Yeah, we were doing. There we are, 152. We were doing a little Champions 101.
Nice. I'm supposed to be playing in a game with him tonight on Tuesday, but I begged out to play this.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because Hobbs is after the fame and the fortune that comes with
I just
podcasting.
haven't. I've never played any. Well, the last game I played in with Don and Adam wasn't. It was a Dungeon World game that we don't talk about a lot.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
it's
then we
fun
went
to play
to.
with these guys again.
Yeah, I haven't played with you in a while.
We played
Tittle.
DCC after that for a little while.
Yeah. We did the Well of Souls.
But the 3 of us didn't play.
Yeah, it was.
Well, the 3 of us and then other people.
No, but
Right.
you were running the
You're-
game. I mean, all of us as players.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh,
That's
you're right.
true. That's why I wanted Ray to show up.
Yeah, that would have been sweet.
It would have been awesome.
So the -2 penalty is going to, or his 2 points of success is going to be a penalty to anyone's perception rolls to actually perceive him. So that's essentially the quality of his stealth roll. So there's no reaction to your appearance. Go ahead and make a perception roll to see what details you can pick out.
All right, so I have a 14 or less on perception.
Okay.
Does the perception 14 or less include the +2? It does, doesn't it?
It does. I have to look, but I think it does.
Yeah, it does, because my intelligence is 12 or
Your
less.
intelligence
so
12 or
+2
less, so
would
it
be-
already includes that. Yep.
Is this one of Rob's, or is this your own hero designer export, or?
That is my own hero designer export. Yep.
Nice.
So that was a 13 for your perception roll.
Yes.
So you see, looking down in there, you see a large room and a hearth. You see 3 guys and 3 bandits just kind of sitting around, and you see a dog. And the dog's lying on the ground, but it's kind of perked its head up and seems to be looking around.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to have a fix on you, but you think that the dog heard you. The guys are just sitting around and chatting. There's a couple guys lying on their bedrolls, and they look bandaged up and beat up. One guy has a sheet over him.
Okay, well, I'll kind of hunker down and maybe attempt to conceal myself after seeing that. Now, that's looking only in the holes, and there's nothing else up here on the roof that I can see, right?
Right, that is
Anywhere?
correct.
Okay. So I can't see the dog, but I'm going to try to listen. Okay. I have telepathy. Now, are we all buddies?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've been together for so long.
But you know that Korgon does behave a little erratically whenever
I
your
don't like your
sorcerer's power touches him.
mind talking.
Right, but I can use my sorcerer's powers to talk to Belloc groin shot, right?
Mhm.
So I think I will do that.
Now your invade the mind does require incantations.
Oh, okay, yeah. But can I skip that for a skill roll or something?
Yes, you can attempt a skill roll, and since you're trying to remove a limitation, that's going to be a -2 to your sorcery.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I've already would have regained the other 6 end, right? Or if not, I'm going to wait for a few seconds so I can get that 6 end back
Okay.
from
Yep. So you
Brainwalk.
Well, okay, so this brings up a question I have. How fast do you regain endurance?
So we can pull up that speed chart because that will facilitate this conversation. So combat is broken into 12-second turns. Each of those seconds is referred to as a segment, and your speed determines how many times you get to act over the course of those 12 segments.
And thereby which segment you act in.
That is correct. So, Korgon with a speed of 4 is going to act in segments 3, 6, 9, and 12.
Okay, cool. That's good. I figured that part out right.
So it's all staggered. At the end of 12, after 12, in this nebulous non-time region known as post-segment 12, you get a recovery of your endurance and your stun.
All of it?
No, whatever your recovery value is.
Okay. Okay,
Right.
got it. Cool.
So it is entirely possible to get knocked out and then come back. Also, you can spend your action, like you can say, on my phase 3, I'm going to use my action to recover, and in which case you get another recovery equal to your recovery characteristic. The only drawback to that wonderful recovery characteristic is that when you take a recovery action, you are at half DCV, which means, in
defensive combat value.
Yeah, defensive combat value. Your armor class is essentially cut in half, right? You are easier to hit, and the worst part of worst parts is that the hit location penalties, if you look at the hit location chart, there's an OCV penalty. The hit location penalties are also halved. So you not only are easier to hit, but it is easier for someone to do a call.
To hit you in a specific location. Okay.
And that's also true like when you're stunned and things like that. Classic, Phantom Menace Episode 1 of Star Wars is Darth Maul punches Qui-Gon in the chest, stuns him, and then does a called shot on him while he's stunned. Half DCV, half hit location penalty. Kind of exemplifies that moment. We won't talk about the rest of the movie.
So what you're saying is don't declare a recovery on an action unless you've gotten into cover and for some reason you're totally safe.
Exactly. Don't do it in the middle of a battlefield because that's just dumb.
Right. Okay.
So he's going to take an action. You guys aren't in combat. He's going to take an action to
brain talk
to get a recovery, and then he's going to attempt to brain talk. Yes.
Hobbs, Katie was thinking about joining us for this, so I'm actually kind of glad she didn't. She'd be really frustrated with these rules already. I mean, I'm totally cool with it. It's just I think she'd have freaked out by now already.
So
I just realized I've been muted. This whole time. I've been talking for the last 3 minutes.
Fantastic. We've been waiting for you to do something.
I'm so you want me to roll now? And you're you didn't know that I said that, so they're at 12.
Okay, so you succeeded in overcoming your incantation's limitation, and you reach out, and since you're just trying to communicate and not probe into the deepest recesses of your friends' minds, right?
Yeah,
right,
just
Praxis?
the light. Right, correct. Just the light level of touching. Oh, just a soft, gentle caress.
Friendly touching.
All right, and what would you like to transmit?
I would let him know that there are 3 bandits within and a hound.
Okay.
Now, from where he was, could he see any kind of entry point?
I was looking through the hole, so you'd be coming through the hole, I think.
It looks like that right here is a door.
Okay, I can't see what you're pointing at because it's in the darkness.
Really?
Yeah.
3 bandits. Huh?
Yes, 3 bandits.
I revealed those areas.
You might want to try revealing them again.
How about now?
No, I can see the revealed area, but I can't see what you're clicking. I don't know what you're using. Are you on the right pointer, or are you on something different?
Oh yeah, I was just holding my mouse button. So right here.
I can't see it. Are you on the ruler, or are you on the?
So that was now. Select? Now I'm on the ruler.
So can you see mine?
No.
No.
Oh shit! All right, give me a second. I have to F5. Give me a second. Did you see what he was doing, Adam?
Now I see it well. Now you clicked inside the room, and I saw that. I didn't see either what either one of you were doing.
Yeah. So right here.
Did you see mine, Shane?
I did.
I still can't see yours.
So right here, can you see that?
No.
Nope.
You said F5 I refresh the page?
Well, yeah. Well, you bounce out kind of and re-log in quick, but you can do it, and we'll still be here.
Okay.
Don, are you logged into this thing?
I was, and then I got booted out, so I need the link again.
It should just be if you go to the chat window in the Hangout.
All right.
Why do you always get booted out of stuff?
I think it's that I just out of habit clicked
I could see it.
Firefox.
Okay.
I think he was checking porn again, and his computer kind of slowed down,
And my pants are off.
I was gonna say as long as he's got pants on, but no.
So Adam, when we were talking about are we using Roll20 or are we using Map Tool?
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons I use Map Tool.
Sure. Well, no, that was one of the things. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and download Map Tool. And you're like, oh, well, no, because I didn't hear from you. And I'm sorry about that. It was a confusion.
No, I think Roll20 is great, and there's a lot of actually really cool functionality in here. But I've just found that, especially for a long game, that Map Tool is a bit more reliable.
Yeah, but it takes so long, and you have to download. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't really like Map Tool.
I've been using it for like 8 years, so it's second nature.
I'm just going to throw this out right now. I do think that Roll20 is excellent. I don't think it's a perfect solution. I do wish drawing was easier in it. You know, I play with a lot of folks who like to draw on the screen, and they it doesn't work as well for those folks. I mean, it's not just like the one player in my group who is a professional artist who does that. Like, everybody draws on the screen to some degree or another.
Right.
I was expecting a name drop there, but you tried to get past it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I managed to skirt that, didn't I?
All right, so let's refocus here.
All right,
so you did see that you think right there is a door.
Okay, so I will, like I say, a feather touch on Bullocks, and let him know.
That was good.
Let him know
that's probably the best joke I've ever heard you make, Jason.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
No way.
I still made a campaign link because I'm not seeing it in the chat.
Oh, my goodness.
Ha.
I'll
You send it to him, Shane?
Yep.
So yeah, I used Firefox, and every time I freeze up about an hour in. Whoa.
Really?
It says right there in the chat, group chat for this thing. It says
No,
link
I
to
bounced
Roll20.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, you lost it all. Got it.
Yeah. Because I was completely frozen and couldn't do anything.
Oh.
Shane, couldn't I just show him a picture of what I saw in my mind, really? It's telepathy, right? I don't have to talk to him?
You could. Yeah, you could absolutely do that.
Cool.
That's what I'll do.
And I'm going to be like...
Don, did you get it?
No, he's not in that hangout.
Did I? I'm in, right?
You got it.
Me? Oh. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
can you drop a raging fireball? Because I think you should do that, Abraxas.
No.
Did you have Indian food for lunch?
Yeah. So to make sure we understand here, this is kind of a one-way street. Well, no, you can read his mind. So yeah, he can.
Right.
Never mind. Yep.
Well, I was really just doing. I wasn't trying to read his mind though, but maybe if he sent it, I would. That's up to you. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just picturing you dropping a big fireball on those guys.
Well, I don't know why you'd think Abraxas
That
could do
wouldn't
that.
possibly alert anybody else.
I don't know why you think
presence
Abraxas
at all.
could do that.
Because I have no idea what you can do, because you're always talking so big, and I'm the one who can shoot a bow. I'm the hero of this group.
I think we need to get you up there and let you just assassinate him with your bow.
Yeah, so I'm going to
If
tell...
I was to actually... if I was to actually drop a fireball in there, it could rip a portal asunder, and infernal beasts would swarm this area, and that would be bad.
Well, that'd be great. We'd be right above them.
Yeah.
No, because they would kill all of us.
We would run.
Well, let's just do it on... We'll be on this side of the moat.
Right, water.
I see no problem with this plan.
Core God,
Yeah.
take me away. Did you... So our friend here tells us that there's this... three dudes, dog, bad. I explain it.
All right.
He's standing up there. So I'm going to sneak up there.
All right. I'm going to sneak up there, too. I'm good at sneaking.
There, because a dog is going to hear you.
We're
Right?
awesome sneakers,
Well,
though.
Why are
Okay.
you just standing up there, then?
Well, I didn't know. I was trying to see if you wanted to try it, or if you wanted to go through the front door and see, maybe, but they could have a dog there too. I don't know. So.
I always go in the back door.
Okay, well, let's go then. Sneak up here, and I'll blast them. Hey, what is this Mist of the Abyss supposed to do?
So Mists of the Abyss is basically a thick, tangible black-purple mist that fills the area.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to hear through. It's almost impossible to see through. It actually has 1 point of strength, so it's just kind of heavy and just lays on everything. And you actually have to make a strength roll at -1 to move through it.
So if I actually kind of put some Mist of the Abyss in there, it would stop their hearing and perception, so they might not even know. But they'd see the mist, obviously, and be freaked out.
They would freak the geek out, yes, but they wouldn't necessarily know where it's coming from or what you guys are doing.
Do you guys want me to try that or not?
Yes.
It's very... Sure. I would be weakened if I used it.
Don't worry, we can ninja... I got ninja skills. Barbarian ninja skills.
You guys want to try
I have an amazing leap. And I'm a master climber.
Well,
yeah, if you drop that on them, then we can crawl up there and maybe
they won't know where we're coming from for sure, but we won't be able to see them either. You realize that, right?
I'm pretty good with a bow.
But you won't...
You can see them.
Are you saying I can't see what I'm shooting at?
I can still see through it?
You have personal immunity.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Oh.
All right, nice.
But we don't have immunity.
Right.
Right.
Okay. How fast can you kill one of these guys?
Me?
I can kill him. I can kill him. Yeah, you.
That's not really what
I can kill him really fast.
I'm pretty...
You don't kill people? What kind of an adventurer are you? That's the deal. You want to surprise them.
I'm a sorcerer.
Well,
not an adventurer.
You're on an adventure, therefore.
Oh, look at that mist. He did it.
Ooh, missed.
I'm assuming he's going to succeed, so...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just do it then. What the heck?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You
big or go home.
Abraxas.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm going to wait until...
I'm going to wait in about an hour. I mean, seriously.
And then do it.
Right?
You're going to wait till what?
I'm going to get a recovery after my...
okay, that's fine.
Invade the mind, and then I will... and then I'll try it.
Okay. So you can...
ready?
Yep. So it's going to... You need a 11 or less, because it's sorcery...
Yeah, we got a good shot then.
-5.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah!
There you go. So a big waving of the arms, and you guys just kind of hear reality rip apart as a bit of the abyss is just allowed to belch into this plane. And you hear the muffled screams of individuals exposed to the outer planes. At this point, this is the beginning of combat. So we start combat on phase 12. So everybody, regardless of speed, unless you are a 1-speed zombie, everybody goes in phase 12. And this is a surprise phase. They're not going to get an action because you guys are jumping on top of them. Abraxas has gone and dropped this, and so now we go in initiative order, which is by order of dex.
Mine's 13.
Yep.
18.
Ooh, shoot him.
So Belloc goes first.
All right, I'm going to climb up there if I'm not up there already.
Okay. And in terms of climbing, you can either actually do it as a climb, or you can try and scramble up there as part of your movement, using your climb to try and, not keep yourself from falling. So as a climb, you're going to move more slowly, but if you try to scramble up there, you could get right up next to him if you succeed at a climbing roll -2.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna scamper because
we don't have any time to waste on.
I don't have time to waste. No, because I'm highly dexterous.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we should jump over the moat though.
I'm gonna swim through the moat.
Okay.
Well, your leaping ability your combat leap is 4 meters,
Right.
and that moat is about 2 meters across. So that's a half move for you. So it's a half leap to get across, and then that means you can move half your move, which is another 6 meters. Which you're going to get up right next to Abraxas, as long as you succeed at your climbing roll -2.
I was going to say, if you wanted to, you could go non-combat, Don, because they're not going to be able to see you, and then you'd probably be able to get there. But you may not be able to because of the terrain, Shane.
He cannot non-combat move and make a climbing roll at the same time.
My climbing was 13 and under. I rolled a 9.
Okay. So you made it by 4. So boom, you scramble up the rocks and get up there. Make a perception roll.
Perception roll.
Yep.
Did you move the wrong guy?
I did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I knew which guy was which.
10, and it is it 14 and under? If I add a 1 to...
So you get up there, Don, and Belloc, right at your feet as you scramble up right next to him, you actually see a piece of wood that's kind of like a makeshift trap door, and clearly you can just pull it aside and slide right in.
Oh, nice.
I didn't see that because I'm so perceptive.
Well, you're kind of up on the wall, and you were focused on looking in. So you did not make your roll by now. All right, so that brings us to Korgon.
All right, so Korgon. Yeah. Well, so the nice thing about Korgon is that he is a master climber. Not exactly sure what that means, but I'm sure it's pretty awesome. And I've got a pretty big jump too because I have an amazing leap. So I need to get up there. So what do you think? I mean, I'm gonna kind of do what Don did, right? Just kind of running, jumping, climbing rocks.
Yeah. So your leap is actually super heroic from a non-combat perspective. You can leap, almost 70 feet.
I saw that. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it is kind of ridiculous, but you're Korgon the Barbarian, so whatever. But the Master Climber is this clinging power, which basically means you get your full movement. And climbing in difficult terrain really doesn't do anything to you.
Oh, cool. So I can basically just run up there.
You can just run up there at your full 16 meters of running. Yep.
Sweet. All right, so I'm up there. Done.
So a half move gets you basically right there, which would still allow another half move of action if you wanted to do something.
Well, I can't see anything from there, right? So
yeah, make a perception roll to see if you spot the door.
Yep.
Yeah, so you get up there and you see Belloc's eyes kind of focused on this piece of wood, and you eyeball that wood, and you know exactly what it is.
If I throw it open, I can get down there, right?
Throw it open? Hell, you could just drop kick through it.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds cool too. Like, oh wait, you mean literally like my drop kick ability?
Yes.
You could actually drop kick the door, but I meant that you go feet first and just slide through the trap door.
Okay, yeah, that was what I was planning on doing. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll get down there. Yeah.
All right, so you move through into the room.
Are they gonna know that I'm there?
Oh yeah, they are.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll just punch the hell out of them. It'll be great.
Yeah, Korgon is only subtle when Korgon wants to be subtle. So you slide down in there, and you're right at the edge of the effect, and you can kind of you really can't see through it, but you can see that you've actually slid right down next to a very surprised-looking guy.
Excellent. Slitting his throat when I get a chance.
All right. So that is the end of 12. And now we come around to phase 3. And again, we go in order of initiative. Now,
we get a recovery, right?
You do get your recovery post segment 12.
You weren't doing movement ends or anything, so.
Yeah, the movement does cost endurance, and in fact, like the Master Climber ability. Oh, the Master Climber ability doesn't have any endurance.
No.
But like Korgon's recovery is 12, so phase 12 he never tracks endurance because there's no point.
Right.
And Belloc is also a pretty healthy guy. So we come around to phase 3, and we go in order of initiative. But I do want to point out that one of the things about the hero initiative system is that while it's set, looking here at Korgon, he goes on initiative 13. We start at the highest, so if you had Dex 30, it'd move its way down. But there are things that you can do to disrupt that order. You can say that you want to hurry, and you can actually add a D6 to your initiative at a penalty of -2 to anything else that you would do. Also, if you hold your action when your action comes around, then later on in subsequent phases, you can interrupt other people's action and possibly go before them. So while on the surface the initiative system seems static, it actually becomes quite dynamic based on the choices that you might make. So I'm going to flip to so everyone can see here. So in segment 3, if you guys want to pull up, if you guys want to flip back to my screen share for a moment, I do want to show the combat record sheet, which kind of shows everyone in there. You can kind of see the order by dex, okay, kind of ticked off, and just some general notes. This is something that the hero system character generator generates. So we're going around to 3, and we're going to start with Abraxas. So it's going to be Abraxas, Belloc, and then Korgon, unless the bandits have a higher dex than he does. So at the top of the round is when Korgon needs to decide whether or not he's going to hurry or accept his fate.
Accepting it.
All right.
So, is this area here still blackened out? There's still roof on this?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So Abraxas, your go.
Let's see. Here, I'll move into the room, but I can't get to any of these guys yet, right?
Your move is what? 14 meters?
12.
12. Yeah, so you could move 6 meters and still do something. And Korgon has more than opened the way into the room.
But this bandit isn't inside the mists, right?
He's right on the edge of the mist. That is correct.
So he's not affected by them, is what I'm saying.
He is not affected by it, yeah. This guy is not affected.
Okay, so can I go through one of the holes and just get into the room somewhere that's inside the mists?
Oh, like go in through the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, with your teleport you could.
But not by walking, it's too far down or something?
It would take all your action to basically climb through the hole and then drop down. That would be your hole.
I think that's what I'll do, but I want to be inside the mists.
Okay. So give me a climbing check. Make sure you don't sprain an ankle.
Oh, my goodness. These are the ones I fail. Okay. I don't even... Oh, so I have 11 or less climbing because I don't even have it. So how far down was it? I can't just jump down?
You can. It's like 4 meters.
Oh, okay. So you're saying 20...
It's like 12 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a drop. It's the potential. If you don't have climbing, you can make a dex roll.
Oh, okay. Still, I mean, it's the same thing, right?
Yep.
Oh, 13 or less, yeah. So.
Yeah, Abraxas doesn't typically climb. He typically teleports.
Costs too much.
What's endurance?
Okay. I rolled. Did you see it or no?
I did not.
Okay, yeah, you moved me. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Abraxas 13. Yeah, so you drop down in there, and that's your whole action. You drop right next to a guy, and you see him kind of looking around in the mist, like trying to figure out what's going on, but he's quite confused.
And then you show up right next to him, and you're all tall and evil, Nightcrawler,
Belloc.
Yeah, so I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
If Hobbs will stop making noise so I can look at the map. Oh, I can
my cider is so good I was smacking my lips.
All right, can I see...
Probably not.
Can I see the guy that Korgon is next to through the roof or not?
Yeah, you can. He's got some cover from you, so he might be a little bit harder to hit, but he also might not see you.
All right. Since I fought with Korgon before, do I know that he'll be able to kill this guy immediately, or do I have to help him, or what?
Unless he's actually a match for Korgon, he can pretty well hold his own.
All right. So I guess I'm just gonna go down the same trapdoor.
Can you see the guys from where you are, Don, through the roof?
I don't think I can
the
because
dog?
there's that fog.
Make a perception roll.
All right. I will make a perception roll.
Oh.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I'm gonna shoot one of them then.
Take them out from up there. Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot the one next to
Shoot the dog.
Abraxas because I'm a show off.
Nice.
And for those playing the home game, Belloc does have combat archery, so he can avoid hitting unintended targets when shooting into melee.
Mm-hmm.
And so that brings us to our next question: is what are you going to do? You have really, I think, 4 options. One is rapid archery. You can just fill him full of arrows, as many as you can attack with.
Wow.
I can hit most anything 1, which means that regardless of cover or anything like that, it's going to be an accurate shot for 1 arrow. That can hit most anything 2 is no Armod, no range modifier, but he's not that far away. So that's not that necessary. And then the last thing is, instead of doing can hit most anything or rapid archery, you could choose one of your archery maneuvers.
All right.
Includes like disarm.
Yeah.
Shoot him in the head, man.
Green arrow shit, man.
Yeah, I wanna. Well, you know what? Maybe I should disarm him so he doesn't like cut your throat. I guess he can't see you though.
Yeah, he doesn't even have.
Well,
a sword
if he's right next to him, he can spend a half phase, and he might be able to perceive Abraxas. So he is still a threat to Abraxas.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him. Well, I'll shoot him in the head or try to.
Okay, so probably your best bet then is to go with the quick shot.
All right.
That gives you a +1 OCV. That's your offensive combat value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in order to make an attack roll, we look at your OCV, which is 6. And that gets added to a base of 11. Everybody gets an 11 on any attack roll. So you you start with a 17 or less, which sounds great. Then you apply your maneuver, which is a quick shot that gives you a +1 OCV. So now you're at an 18 or less. How can you miss, you say? I don't know. Then we look over here at your skill levels, and you've got +2 with bows and crossbows. So now we're at a 20 or less. This is fantastic. This is a sure thing. However, you said the magic words, which are headshot.
Yep.
So if we're looking at the called shot to the head, that's a -8.
All right.
So now we're back down to a 12.
Oh, you got that. You got that. You can do
And-
12.
You do just a high
You
shot,
got
too.
this, man.
Yeah. And
You could just do a high shot if you want, Don.
Yep, and you could do a high shot instead of a headshot, which means that instead of a random hit location, with a high shot or even an upper shot, you are constraining the hit location roll
All right.
for
But it's
less
not
of an
such a big
OCV penalty.
Yeah.
So right now you're at a 12 or less, but hold on. We also have to account for the DCV of the target. This is where the DCV comes in.
All right.
Now he's a bandit. He has a DCV of 3. However, he can't see you. So his DCV is halved down to a 2. So you have a 10 or less to shoot him in the brain pan. Or you
That's about
could
a
take this
50-50 shot,
upper
man.
shot at -4, which would mean you'd have a 14 or less to hit him from the shoulders up.
All right. Let's go for the 14 or less.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a braggart to me, or a show-off. I mean, I
It
don't think
really sounds like if we were playing with fate points, I'd say I'd give you a fate point if you go for the headshot, not the upper shot. That's the safe bet.
And I'll go for the headshot.
All right.
Yeah, let's go,
Get
D.
Oh.
Just a bit outside.
So it whizzes past his ear and gets embedded into the floor, and he realizes that his life has now shortened by a couple years just from that shot alone. All right, so Abraxas and Belloc have gone. Now the bandits get to go. So this is interesting. I'm going to zoom in here. Oops, don't want to move that. So, Korgon.
Yep.
The bandit that was next to you, he was actually relaxing on the ground. And you're standing right next to him. He's a little taken aback. What he's going to do is he's going to reach over and he's going to grab your leg, and he's basically going to try and throw you to the ground. You know, kind of classic WWE style. Now you have two choices.
Mm-hmm.
You're Korgon the Barbarian.
Yep.
Screw this guy.
Yep.
There's no way he's going to succeed, right?
Right.
That's option number one.
Uh-huh.
Option number two is you give up your action this phase, and you abort to a block or a dodge. And the dodge is going to automatically increase your DCV, so you're going to automatically become harder to hit. Plus, it allows you to reallocate your skill levels. You got those +2 with hand-to-hand, so you can put all of those on DCV. So you
the only way I can do that is with a block or a dodge?
No, you can always apply them to DCV. It's just, let's say you had to put them on offense on your last action. When you abort, you can automatically reset all of your skill levels. So you can take your +2 with hand-to-hand and add it to your DCV, which is 5. That gives you a DCV of 7. If you dodge, it becomes a 10. That's option number 2.
I'm gonna rely on the 7. I'm gonna go with the 7. I think that's good enough.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna be Korgon. There's no way he can possibly succeed.
Right.
You're probably right. He is doing a grab maneuver. If you want to switch back to my screen for a minute.
Okay.
You can see the standard maneuvers listed here, and about halfway down you see this grab maneuver. It gives him a -1 OCV penalty and a -2 DCV penalty. He's already prone, so his DCV is for crap. So he's going to reach out and he's going to grab both your legs and pull your legs out from under you, slamming your head against the stone. That's his plan anyway. His OCV is 5. Being the bandit leader, he also has +2 with hand-to-hand.
Oh.
So that gives him a 7.
Which is equal to mine. My DCV.
Which is equal to you. So he's got an 11 or less, but he's doing a grab. So he is at a -1. So he needs a 10 or less.
Okay.
And interesting point for relative to other systems, there's no penalty for hand-to-hand combat when you are prone. Your OCV is unmodified. His defenses are bad, but his OCV is not penalized.
Okay.
So he reaches over and grabs and gets an 11 and misses you by 1. So he grabs a hold of your boots and you just kind of kick his hands away, and he is unable to throw you to the ground.
Back off, Bandito.
So this dude's actually on the ground?
Yeah, he was sitting on
he's
the ground.
prone.
Nice.
Yeah, he was just chilling. He was chilling in his bandit lair, man. You mugs come along. So that leads us to Korgon. It is now your action. It is now your initiative.
This fucker's got to pay. Okay? So I'm looking at my attacks here, and I gotta say, like the mob attack, I think I understand, right?
Yeah.
Does that basically say it's a radius around me?
You just
I have to
attack
spend
everything around you.
But am I reading this correctly? Do I spend the whole round doing that?
Yep, that's
It's
all you
one
do.
of
You
these
can't move.
phases, instead of moving. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's for the entire phase.
Yeah, not a
just
turn.
the phase, not the
Just
whole
the
turn.
segment, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Whew. Okay. I was.
No, so
really
that's a
confused
good
with
point. If I can pause there, Adam.
Yeah.
When you get an action, and you can come back to my screen and look at the maneuver chart, you'll notice that all of these maneuvers are listed how much of a phase they use. Almost everything uses half a phase, which means then you can use the other half of the phase to move. So it's
except for got it. Okay.
right, except for multiple attack or set, right? There's a couple things that don't. So it's like D&D 5th edition.
Yeah, you can do half a
move
one
and then take an action, right? It's the same kind of thing. They just call it a half phase or a full phase.
Okay. So that is okay. Got it. All right. So I'm not going anywhere. So I might as well use a full phase action, right?
Right.
So I'm looking at what I have available other than that mob attack, and I'm not really seeing anything that's speaking to me. The mob
Drop
attack.
kick or savage fighter.
He's already
or
down.
Savage grapple.
Yeah. What I don't understand the damage expression on Savage Fighter. It says HKA 2d6, 3d6 plus 1 with strength.
Right.
That is a lot? Okay.
That is a lot. So hand killing attack just means that it's a deadly attack as opposed to punching someone.
Oh,
Does he have his armor
I see.
on?
Does HTH is against stun?
Yeah, it's against stun.
Or-
It does some body, but it usually doesn't result in a lot of body. So I'm going to ask you, just for illustration, if you would do your drop kick or a savage grapple and crush this fucker's head.
Okay.
One of those two, because both of those are going to do normal damage, and I want to demonstrate that.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll do drop kick. Why not?
Okay.
So
dropping the
basically,
Hogan
yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Is this guy just tried, like, he's on the ground, he reached for my leg, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then kind of like pick up and just axe kick to the back of his head or something like that.
Exactly. And so you're going to do knockback, and you're going to end up prone after this attack, but you're gonna mess him up.
Sure. Okay, so we'll do that.
Yep. So your OCV, your attack roll is 16 or less. What are you going to do with these two hand-to-hand skill levels?
I already used them.
No. You didn't. They're
Oh.
right up to this moment where you take action, they were on your DCV, right? And as a GM, I typically accept that your default allocation for your skill levels is to defense. Now that you're taking an action, you can redefine it.
Well, of course it's going to, hand to hand now. This is going to attack now.
And are you going to add it to your to hit, or are you actually going to use those on damage since he's prone and probably easy to hit?
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to use those on damage.
Okay, so your attack roll is 16.
Okay.
Being that he's prone and he also did a grab, his DCV is normally 5, but he did that grab maneuver, which has a DCV penalty of -2. So he goes down to a 3, and because he's prone, it's halved, so it's down to a 2.
So I got to roll a 14 or better to hit him, or less to
14
hit
or
him.
better or less. Now, one other thing before you make this roll, you've got this Master of Adversity, +2 to offset any penalties. So that means that
Am I penalized by anything? What am I penalized
Well,
by?
no, but if you do take like a called shot, say from the groin up, then you could do that at no penalty. So
All right, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so
increases your chances
basically,
of
I'm
getting
saying
good
that
stuff.
I'm gonna hit somewhere above the knee.
You're
right?
not
That's
going to hit
that
his
goes-
cankles, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so
All
give
right,
me an attack
go for
roll.
it.
You need a 14 or less because you're Korgon the Barbarian.
There's a 10.
Nice.
Okay, so no crit, but a solid hit. So now we're going to roll hit location.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll 2d6 plus 1 since you are.
Is that with my additional +2 from the
and
hand-to-hand
look at
combat?
that! You drop kicked him in the head.
Of course. Yeah, that's what I was going for anyway. So.
So this is fantastic. This is all working out to plan. If we look at the hit location chart, since you're doing a normal damage attack, we're only concerned about these two columns, the body multiplier and the end stun multiplier. Since this is normal damage, both of these modifiers are after whatever armor he has. So anything that gets through his armor is doubled.
Okay.
'Cause you
Oh,
kicked him
wow.
in the
Okay,
head.
that's cool. All right.
Yeah. Now going back to your damage, you do 8 dice with your strength.
Really?
Yep. The endurance cost for this is 3 for the drop kick, but then also it's going to cost you. It costs 1 per 10 point of strength, so it's going to cost you 2. So it's a 5 endurance attack. And I will say that a lot of times in fantasy level games, you don't track endurance, just because the numbers that usually come into play don't often end up with you getting exhausted. But in this
Okay.
case, Just to illustrate. So you spend 5 endurance, and you use your 2 hand-to-hand combat skill levels on damage, which adds 1 die, so 9 dice of damage.
Okay, well, where do we get that? Because I'm seeing it says 3d6 plus 1. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, shit. I was looking in the wrong spot. All right, cool. All right, so 9d6 damage. Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
So, excellent. So this is how much stun he takes, right?
Except I read in that 2-page thing. Oh, I guess that ends up canceling out, right? Because I have 2 1s, so that 1s get removed from the expression.
Yeah.
But I also have 2 6s, and don't 6s add an additional one?
Yeah.
No, we'll get to that in a moment. So 96, 96 normal dice averages to 9 body because you're going to do 1 point per die. And that's what you're speaking to, is that you got 2 6s, which would go up, be an additional plus 1 each. But 2 1s would go down, so you're going to do 9 body. So you do 32 stun and 9 body to this guy. Now he has, and I'm illustrating this. Now he is wearing his armor, which he's got 3 points of resistant PD. And this is a physical attack. You're obviously not kicking him with fire. And he's got 7 points of total PD, which applies to the stun. And since this is a normal damage attack, not a killing attack, that 7 PD also applies against the body.
Where did he kick him?
He kicked him in the head.
Oh, he did? Oh,
yep.
Boy.
Yeah.
So both of that's times 2, right, for the head. So the 2 points that gets through to the head becomes 4 body, which is noteworthy. I mean, he only has like 11, but it is not an impairing wound, so that it's a good solid crack to the jaw. However, the 32 minus 7 equals 25 times 2 equals 50 stun.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty badass. Yeah,
which he does not have.
Right. So it's like the axe kick like causes his head to like bounce off the floor, and I can see his eyes roll back in his head as
his jaw cracks, a couple teeth fly out.
Nice.
He is knocked out.
We should keep those teeth. I'm
Well,
gonna have them.
have so many.
I'm gonna have them installed so I can do more biting.
Okay. So,
all right, that was cool. All right, got it.
Drop kick to the head. Now you are prone.
Yeah, that's not so bad. Worse things can happen.
Especially since you're just hiding over here in the corner.
And
Some wizards decide to drop down in the middle of a fucking fight, and I'm the one who, is taking the heat from that. Whatever.
that guy is taken out. Okay. So that was your phase 3. Now the rest of the bandits go. Oh, those guys I didn't pull into the lair. That's why you couldn't see them.
Oh.
Oh, this sounds like an Adam move. There's actually 12 guys in here.
What? Oh, that's why
You're still mad about those chimpanzees.
Sorry, they were on the map layer, not the
GM layer or something.
Yeah, not the token. There we go. Okay. Now all is good. We can move this back. So the one guy next to you is going to spend a half phase action and try and figure out where you are, Braxis. So he's going to roll his 3d6.
I still get this roll. Oh no, I guess.
Yeah, he gets a 9. He's only got an 11 perception. He's just going to lash out. He's going to draw his sword, make a half OCV attack, which is probably not going to hit. No, he just lashes out. The other guys get to their feet, and they are going to try and make for the door. Which they do manage to spend most of their action. You hear one of them shout, "I found the door over here!" And the dog is going to try and go for Abraxas's nuts if he can perceive him.
Well, they smell so bad. It's pretty easy.
The bandits actually run right in front of the dog and completely confuses his sense of smell, and the dog just kind of freezes in place, and he doesn't know what to do. All right. So advancing through the initiative order, we are now on segment 6. And I believe I just want to confirm this. Abraxas, Belloc, and Cor. Yeah, you guys are all speed 4, so you're all badasses. Okay. Most your average person is speed 2. Your bandits are probably speed 3 because they live a life of crime.
Crime gives you more speed.
But these
guys,
are
the monster
leaders.
Well, if you don't have speed and you live a life of crime, you usually end up dead. So, coming around to phase 6, Abraxas.
Dr. Heisenberg has taught us anything.
Here, I'll shift around where this guy is blindly behind him, and I'll stab him with my infernal blade.
Now, you're going to try and push your ability, or are you just going to take it as is?
I'll just take it as is, because I figure these guys will mop up the rest of them. So, Mr. the dog.
Are you attacking the dog or the guy?
No, I'm basically hinting at Don to shoot the fucking dog with his arrow.
Don's not playing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh. Well, I wasn't speaking as Abraxas right there because that would be stupid because then they'd see me in the fog. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so
hey, dude, shoot the dog!
So Abraxas, your infernal blade uses your OMCV instead of your OCV. So
What's the M stand for? Is that magic?
Yeah. Now it's
mental.
Mental.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a pause here, Adam,
Mm-hmm.
and say the magic system for hero is whatever you want it to be.
I didn't figure it would be magic. I was kind of devil's advocating saying that.
So yeah, so there's I mean, if you look in the core fantasy hero, there's 16 different magic systems. My Narosia setting has 3 magic systems in it. And I tried to just go for pretty much a straight up just hero powers with a slight bit of sauce. And in this case, his sorceress attacks all use his mental attack value, his OMCV, to target instead of physical, because that seems to make sense.
Yeah.
All right, so you got a mental attack of 17 or less. You have no skill levels.
Oh, I already moved, so I can't bring up my sorceress shield as well, right?
Sorceress shield is... Where's your sorceress shield?
It's defensive. It's in the bottom right. It's below combat information.
Oh, there, that's right. Who designed this character sheet? No, it's a defensive power. So it is a 0-phase action to activate. So you can bring it up.
Well, can I wait until if the dog attacks and then do it? If I need
to? Your attack ends, but you can always abort as long as it doesn't happen in segment 6.
I'll just try it. I'll just try it right now since it's 0 phase.
Okay. So give me a sorcery -1.
7.
No problem. And in fact, that's a crit, so that's going to be no endurance cost this phase.
Nice.
You just bring it up, and then you can still proceed with your attack.
All right, so I'll infernal blade this man to the back.
His DCV, he is DCV right now is he's got brought his shield to bear, so it's a whopping 3. So you need a 14 or less.
All right, I got a 7.
One shy of a crit, but definitely a solid hit. And go ahead and roll your damage.
How do you roll 1.5 dice 6?
One
dice. Just roll 2 dice 6. And
unfortunately, in roll 20, you've got to roll them separately. The second one is a D3. Or we just use the second die.
That's why I did it that way. Yeah.
Yep. So you did 4 body.
4. Mm-hmm.
And I rolled the hit location.
Chest.
So it's right in the chest. So you did 4 body. He has
got 3.
7 PD and 3 resistant PD. So that means that 1 body gets through, and the chest has a ×3 stun multiplier.
It says a +1 stun X as well.
You've got +1 stun X.
Oh, this is armor piercing too.
Yeah, I'll go back and rectify that. So you actually did, in the case of killing attacks, it's applied before the armor, or the stun multiplier is. So you did equals 28 stun minus his 7 equals 21 stun. And because it's armor piercing, oh yeah, so -4 equals 24 stun, and because it's armor piercing, it's only going to be -2. So you actually do 2 body and 24 stun. So an infernal cut appears on his chest. He is bleeding. The 24 stun will actually knock him out. Now, if he actually had more stun than that, that 24 stun would have exceeded his con, so he would have at least been stunned. He would have still been conscious, but in this case, it is a KO. All right, Belloc.
Shoot him. Don't shoot the dog. Shoot the other guys.
Shoot the dog.
Don't shoot the dog. We're going to make friends with this dog, and he's going to be our dog pal.
Oh
Do we have?
We should use presence attacks on the dog. Since Shane told us to do that.
Hey, dog, you better watch this because I'm going to fill your friend full of arrows.
Yeah, shoot the guy and then tell it to fetch.
Fetch.
If you had animal handling, you might be able to pull that off.
If only we had the sprite.
Yep, indeed. He was all
Right.
set up for
Yeah, somebody had to play Bullocks the the nut shooter. It was.
I'm going to. Am I? I mean, I'm kind of far from the dog.
No, you're not.
Oh,
You're really
no.
close. I mean, we're in the same
Really?
freaking room, and you got a bow, dude.
But the
You're
room looks
7 meters
everything
away,
close.
21 feet.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
look at that.
8
Oh,
meters.
wow.
8 meters is no penalty, regardless of the attack that you're using. If we pull up Belloc, every -2 is a doubling of range. So your longbow is +2 versus range, so you can go to 16 meters with no penalty, and you have +4 as a skill level versus range with bows, so you can go to 64 meters with no range penalty. Yeah.
Nice. I want to. Can I rapid archery the dog?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna do that.
All right, so the dog against you is going to be DCV. Well, he can't perceive you at all, but he is.
Invisible arrows shooting me. Ah.
Oh, can I even see the dog?
suck
I can
to
only
be
see
that
that
dog.
guy.
Yeah, you do need to make a perception roll
All right.
every phase in order to overcome.
Nice.
That'll do it.
You are Belloc groin shot, and
Yeah.
these abyssal mists are nothing to you.
You can easily find any groins in this mist.
Everything
so yeah,
here is male, so it works out well
the
for
wolf's
you.
DCV right now is 3.
All right.
Rapid attack. You fill it full of wood.
Yep. So you are making your attack roll at 17. What are you doing with these 2 skill levels? Are you going to put them on attack or on damage?
I'll put them on damage. Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to bump up your damage by 1 damage class. So we have a 17 or less. Since you're doing rapid archery, you can't use any of your archery maneuvers.
All right.
His DCV is 3, so -3 gives you a 14 or less. So that's what you need. And since this is auto fire, something special happens.
11.
11. So you made your attack by 3. The way auto fire works is if you make your skill roll, you hit with 1 arrow. if you every 2 points that you make it by, you hit with another arrow.
All right.
And in the case of your auto fire, you're firing 5 arrows. So you just spent five arrows of ammunition, right?
Nice.
And you hit him with 2. Go ahead, and your damage is for your bow. Your longbow is 2d6 plus 1, but you bump that up by 1 damage class, which takes it to 2.5. Just for ease, you could just make it 2d6 plus 2 if you want in your formula.
All right.
Nice.
So you got 2 solid torso shots right in the wolf's chesticles.
Why do we hate wolf testicles?
No, chesticles. Wolf
Oh,
chesticles.
my bad. So in the boobs, the wolf boobs.
Yep. So you want me to roll damage for you?
Which are really
Oh,
close
right.
to the wolf testicles if you actually
2d6
consider wolf
plus
anatomy.
2?
Yeah, 2d6 plus 2.
All right.
So you get 10, and again, you roll 10 body. It's a ×3 stun X for the chest. So you're going to do 30 stun minus the wolf's armor, which he's got fur, which does confer a lot. But then you also hit him with the second shot for another 2d6 plus 2. Because you got both hits. You could have hit him up to 5 times, and for 11. So that one is 33 stun.
Shit.
Oh, I can't do math. You did 8.
Yeah.
8 times 3 is 24 stun.
All right.
11 times 3 is 33 stun. 2 arrows right to the torso, and the wolf goes down. He is
Nice.
dead. The wolf only has 10 body.
Dum, dum.
Okay. So that brings us. They don't have speed 4. Only the leader had speed 4. That brings us to Korgon.
All right, I'm charging across the room with my sword, and I'm going to skewer the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, too bad, man. If you could have jumped there and done your mass
I
attack.
can't-
you
well,
could've gotten
that's-
both. But
Yeah, I can't do that. I wanted to.
yeah, no.
Now you can't. You are right. You can't use that special awesome thing, but you can do this move by. So if you switch back to my screen, you'll see this move by maneuver.
Okay, doing that.
Okay. So you can do a move by, and I realize it's not clear from this maneuver
From
table.
the algebra, yeah.
Yeah. But you can combine this multiple attack with the move by and do a multiple move by.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. How does that screw me over?
So
It's hard.
you know they went for the door. However, they're still in the misty mist, right? The abyssal mist. Give me a perception roll to see what you can see.
Okay. Bam! I can see it all, baby.
Korgon is the
rolled every
king
time?
of barbarians.
Well, I can smell them too. You know, I hear them, and I know the echo with the footprints, and I'm attuned.
Ooh, the
So-
echo of the footprints.
Yeah,
So
they're-
you
yes,
are
I
you
can
are
hear-
at no
I can
penalty.
hear a sight.
You are at no penalty. They, however, don't see you coming, so they are at half DCV, which puts them at a 2 DCV.
Okay.
The move by is a -2, so we got
Okay.
2 for their DCV, 2 for the -2 from the move by, and because you're going to make 2 attacks, that's an additional -2.
However, my
yeah.
Master of Adversity is going to give me a +2 to offset penalties only. So now we're at -4.
Yep.
And I'm going to assign my Master of Hand-to-Hand to the attack this time instead of the damage.
Okay.
So
So
that
yeah,
puts me
so
at
it basically
-2.
gives you a 14 or less on both of them.
Cool. All right, and I'm rolling those separately, right?
Yep.
Okay. And this, for terms of maneuvers, this is my Savage Fighter, right?
Yes.
Okay. So first attack is totally a hit. Second
Totally a
attack
Totally
is
hit.
also a hit.
Right.
Neither of those were crits.
Nope, neither of those were crits. And go ahead and roll damage, which is 3d6 plus 1.
Which is a lot.
The first one is to the arm.
Ooh, you're gonna lop his arm off, dude.
The second one's right to the torso.
All right, so the first one was 11.
Okay, 11 to the arm. You totally cut his arm off. The way we determine that's 11 body, right? Minus his 3 resistant PD is equal to 8. And it only takes 1/3 his body to impair, or 2/3 to disable.
Yeah, I disabled that.
Yeah, and since he only has an 11 body, you did 2/3, which means
No more.
no arm.
I disarmed him, guys. Oh. And the other guy, where am I hitting him? Did you say
You're
it's his
hitting him
head?
right solid in the torso.
Yeah,
Okay, so
look
I'm
inside,
doing 14 points in his torso.
So 11 gets through, which is actually equal to his body, which is a disabling chest wound. So you just completely
Disabled
gut
his
him. Yeah. And you did you did 33 stun. So he clutches his chest, he goes down to the ground, and he's going to bleed out in about 12 seconds.
Cool. But that's a whole round.
Somebody could save him.
That's a good thing. So when it happens to you, we
Try
can
to
save you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there still another guy in here?
No.
No.
Oh,
That's like
okay.
Ghost icon from.
How much did that cost me to do that? I mean, just endurance-wise.
For
I'm just curious.
Yep. So you've got 3 for the Savage Fighter.
Right.
And 2, because it's 1 for every 10 strength. So that costs you 5.
Really?
Yep.
That's all it cost me to do all that?
Yep.
Sweet. I'm running by everybody.
Yeah, well, with your 12 recovery, you want to blow all the endurances.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about pushing. You can actually push your strength and do other things that cost a lot of extra endurance. So it is possible for you to get overly ridiculous.
Okay.
Even more overly
Even
ridiculous.
more overly ridiculous. So all of a sudden it just goes quiet. It's already a quiet because of the abyss that is filled into this area, but you don't hear anybody else moving around. There's no shouts. The one guy that you cut his arm off, he is actually still conscious, but he's just clutching his arm and kind of rocking back and forth.
You're trying to put it back on.
What do you guys want to do?
Well, there are bandits here.
You want me to invade his mind while he's awake?
Yeah.
And find out.
Don't tell me about that. Don't tell me about that.
All right. Abraxas will make his way through the mists and grab a hold of him in the Vulcan head grab.
Okay. And
Find
you're
out.
going to probe his mind,
Yeah,
mind
and find
jewels?
out how many other people are here and all that.
Okay, so what you are able to learn, and at this point there's really no reason for you to roll, because there's no immediate threat. What you learn is they stay out of pretty much everywhere else in the keep. The South Wing, he's been told, there's some kind of creature that if they just leave alone, like it doesn't come after them, but it just kind of hangs out in the south side of the keep. In the west side of the keep, he's actually seen it. There's some kind of like weird fungus and plant thing, and they've actually barricaded that door. Supposedly there are zombies in the basement. He doesn't believe that. That's just what he's been told. He thinks that's just more. He thinks that's actually where their treasure is kept. And the leader just doesn't want anyone to go poking around in there.
Well, I don't know. If I was going to keep my zombies anywhere, it would totally be the basement.
And then the large tower by the main gate, he knows that when you go through, you need to kind of hug to the wall, not to the tower, because there is just a creature, a creature of the swamp that lives in there. So they have to be very quiet when they come through that area. Otherwise, they might disturb it.
But I didn't see anything.
All right, awesome. So, haven't we pretty much done what we were asked to do? We take care of the bandits.
You did take care of the bandits, absolutely.
But they brought prisoners here, so we should find a prisoner.
That was their own wounded.
Yeah, there's a couple of bandits that are just lying on their bedrolls and are oddly just trying to stay very quiet right now.
Well, I will say that we kind of actually hit our goals for the session. You know, I mean, yes, we did manage to get where we were going, but we also I have a pretty good grasp of how the system works now. There's some math to it that I'm not exactly sure how it works. But I think it's just like basic system stuff. Like that's just how that works, you know.
Right.
Like the multiplying stuff by 3 thing. I was like, oh, why is he doing that? You know. But I get that it's probably just a thing.
That was the hit locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the hit location chart and you look at chest, it says stun multiplier times 3. That's all that was.
Totally get it now. Okay, great. But I do think that we've kind of gotten where we wanted to be. I think we've done it in a reasonable amount of time for once. How we did that, I don't know. Shane, do you want to keep going or do you want to stop here, man?
I'm game to keep going because this is all good stuff. Although I do need to refresh my beverage. We didn't do what are you drinking? So I've got Shorts Brew Lil Wheezy up from Elk Rapids. It's a heavily hopped amber lager, and I've paired it with the Auchentoshan 18-year-old Scotch. So
you got to do the two fist, huh?
That's right. Got to do two fist. That's how.
I hope you're not trying to show it to us because all I can see is your screenshot.
I can.
I actually do think
the Auchentoshan 18. There we go. So,
I do think that this is a good point. So let's just go ahead and we'll stop it here.
Okay.
Shane, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate you taking the time to show us a little bit about Hero. Hobbs, thanks for bearing with some Hero noobs on this one.
That's awesome.
You and I are going to be at Gary Con in a couple of weeks. Shane, are you going to be there?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's crap.
Yeah, if I do, it's going to be last minute.
Okay, well, if you do, and it is last minute, let me know that you're coming because I might have a place for you to stay.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Because I think Katie and I had to get a place that's a little bit bigger than we needed for it. So, Don, did you have any questions for Shane about anything you saw? Anything you want to say before we call it a night here?
No, I don't have any questions, but I had a great time, and I thank you for showing us the ropes.
Sure, anytime. I definitely want to. Originally, Adam, we had talked about doing this as a Neuroja session.
Yeah.
We've run into some production delays on the book, so I don't want to do that until we actually have.
That's how you know it's a real product. There's production delays. If it didn't have those, there would be a serious problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know
we'll come back and we'll do this again and take a slightly different approach.
Yeah.
But you guys were great and you really embraced do whatever you want to do and make something happen, and I thought it all played out really, really cool.
I appreciate your advice for, hey, why don't you try this to see how this thing works? Shit, yeah, I'll do that. That's very much how I like to do stuff. But now, if you don't mind, real quick, we didn't do this when we did Fate, but because I think we do have a little bit of time. I do want to say that there's a couple of things that I noticed where I think this thing would be really good. Mm-hmm. I think this system would be great in a gaming group where there's a lot of player buy-in, where players want to get involved with the creation of their characters and they want to fine-tune their character to get it just so. And I think that's what Jason has always told me about this system. Right. But it is one of those things that I kind of wanted to see it for myself. Right. That having been said, I'm not, without recourse to pre-gens, I'm not sure that this would be good for, say, a beginning group.
Well,
not without pre-gens, yeah.
Right. It's interesting that you say that. So this adventure that I'm running is what I've run as part of my Fantasy Hero Quick Start that I've run at Origins and Gen Con, and we actually spend the first hour making characters. So we finish character creation in the first hour. Okay. Then we spend the next 3 hours on the adventure.
That's cool.
So with templates and guidance, you can do it. And in the Fantasy Hero Complete book, which I linked to in the posting about this, a lot of those templates are in there. In the Neuroja book, we've even excellent. Excellent. In the Naroja book, which you got right here, I got at least the cover, right? In the Naroja book, we've even taken it a step further in that we have what we call our character quick start system, and it actually structurally takes you through each phase of the character creation, allowing you to make choices from structured templates as opposed to more of just a mass of templates.
You know what that sounds like to me is the old Shadowrun priority system.
It is very similar to that. Absolutely.
I love that. I mean,
yep.
Looking at all the other...
I've had people sit down that don't know how to play hero that can make a character in an hour, and then a fully realized character, complications and everything that makes sense, and then can begin play. So
cool. All right. Well, that those were that was my thought. Is that this seems like it would be good for campaign play, with groups with higher player buy-in. Where folks want to learn the ropes of the system. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think it'd be a little bit tougher for new players to grasp. And that is just a matter of the complexity of the system. I love complex systems, though. I like simple systems. I like complex systems. I like it all. I've been playing on a RuneQuest lately. I'm a big fan of Warhammer First Edition. With all the weird funkiness there. This was fun. This was fun. Thank you very much for running it. I will totally play in a hero game anytime you're running it, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic.
All right. Well,
thank you, guys.
I got one thing.
You.
If you are running any games online, Shane, let me know because I would love to play. So I don't get an opportunity to play hero very often.
When the Naroja book is done, and actually this I haven't shared this with the backers because I'm still finalizing the details with my layout designer. But that's supposed to be end of April. We're supposed to have the pre-print PDF.
Cool.
So once that happens, then I'm going to be running a lot more Naroja online, and maybe what we can do for a drink spin run is go through that quick start character creation system and demonstrate that part of it, and then jump into our quick start Naroja adventure. So that'd be fantastic.
I think you could twist our arm and get us to do that, especially if you got specific product to pimp, we're definitely happy to let you do that.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Once again, Shane, thanks for running. Hobbs, thanks for being here. Thank you at home, you gorgeous listeners, and you two gorgeous viewers who somehow put up with all of this. We'll see you all soon. Thanks very much for being here.
All right. Thank you.
Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. Good night.